Thank you. Okay, got it. Okay, welcome back, Roger, Dominique, Anne, Mandira again.
Sorry, James, I had the wrong time.
Okay, not to worry.
Class.
Yeah, well, the same happened to Mandira as well, you see, because I'd forgotten to mention in my note about in the UK, the clock's going back 1 hour last Sunday, so we go back to Greenwich Mean Time and off British summertime.
So I'm in New York, and we'll do that next weekend.
That's right. We always do. We're always a week or two away from each other, aren't we?
Yeah.
In our changes of clocks. Right. Welcome, Kath, and welcome back, Shri Animala.
Hello, everyone.
Right. Oh, before we get into it, this Mandira, you were telling me about this Hindi word yugat.
Yes.
I looked in my available works of reference, and I just couldn't. Yes, hello, Lucy. I couldn't find any reference. Couldn't find a yugat.
All right.
So like yug, but with a t at the end.
Yeah, I think it's something to do with. It's a Hindi word.
Mm.
Probably, most likely, it's a Hindi because that's what I have heard in Hindi. I'm not sure about Sanskrit origins or it being a Sanskrit word, but it's like let's resolve this problem. Let's see what we can do. It's like solving a problem. It's like finding a solution.
Right.
Problem.
But oddly enough, I didn't even find it in my regular Hindi dictionaries. Okay. It's strange. Okay, no, never mind. Anyway, and it's definitely not in Sanskrit or Pali. Anyway, you carry on using it, and for me, it can remain one of life's mysteries. Okay, thanks. Anyway, so last time we were, I think we were due to do a recap of the Bodhicharyavatara, chapter 6, verse 18. So we'll just briefly look at that again and deal with any queries, and then we can pass on to the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 1, verse 44. So let me share screen. Share. Here we are. Okay, so you should all have verse 18 up on the screen. Good. So I'll just read it through once. Tachittasya dridhattvena katratvena chakatam dukkha duryodhanastasmad bhaved abhibhaved vyatam. So hopefully everything now is perfectly clear to everyone, but if there were any questions or doubts, I'll be happy to take them now before we move on.
James, it's Paladin. It's not a question about the text. Just to let you know, I'm here, but my video's stopped working and I can't fix it. So I'm not avoiding being picked on. I just can't turn my camera on at the moment. Okay,
thanks for letting me know, Paladin. I'll treat you as being fully with us.
Thank you.
And honorarily visible. So, anyone want to stay on this before we move on? Okay, we can pass on then. Oh, lost my text. Right, so we're now on to the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 1, verse 44. And I shall just recite it slowly in a slow prose style. Utsanna kuladharmanam manushyanam janardana narake niyatam vaso bhavati tyanushruma. Once more. Utsanna kuladharmanam manushyanam janardana narake niyatam vaso bhavati tyanushruma. The subject of the sentence is vasa, which is just means a dwelling. Incidentally, in Buddhist usage, nivasa, you talk about your pubbe, in Pali, pubbe nivasa, I mean previous lives, literally previous dwellings. So vasa, you can also nivasa, with no real change of meaning. But here, your vasa, your dwelling, will be narake, in the lower regions. Oddly enough, there's no satisfactory etymology that I've been able to find for naraka. Let me just call up Moni Williams here. So naraka, the hell, normally, you find a reference to the root, but naraka just seems to be a word existing on its own. As we know, in the vast majority of cases, we can analyze a word properly, we can get back to its root, find the etymology of it, and find a satisfactory explanation for why something means what it means. But in the case of naraka, I've drawn a blank, and I think it's the same with the Pali dictionary would help any more. Hang on, here we are. Okay, here we are. It confirms that Sanskrit naraka, etymology doubtful. Possibly, okay, so some speculation was whether it's a northern underworld. Welcome, Madeleine.
Yes. James, I'm sorry, I'm late. I could not connect on another email, and then I closed and I opened. That's why I'm late. I was ready, but it's good. It's the place where I wanted to make a little observation, personal observation for the word naraka. Exactly, that's what I wanted to say to you. Correct me if I am wrong in Sanskrit. I try to analyze this word. I don't know why, because I know that the syllable ka means in Sanskrit a place of something, ka. And then I thought about it, and in Egyptian Arabic, nar means fire, and it means hell.
Does.
Hell.
It does.
In Arabic, in Egyptian Arabic, I don't know about the classical Arabic because I'm not good at it.
Okay.
So I just wanted to share to you because I know you know Arabic. That's why I want to say the word nar, it means fire, and
it does. Nar, well, German and Niran. So the word nar, it is a word of the Fusha as well.
A word of
the Fusha from classical Arabic as well.
Yeah.
That's Fasir. So it's not just Egyptian; it's the classical word. And it's a feminine noun in Arabic, although it looks masculine on the face, and you can talk about يذهبون للنار وهم خالدون فيها. They go to the nar where they dwell forever. So
Yes.
that's a very interesting point, actually. I hadn't thought of that. That's a nice one. So you have the naraka of uncertain etymology. We have the meaning hell. We have the Arabic word nar, which
Yes.
its primary meaning is fire and the secondary meaning hell.
Yes.
That's really interesting. I mean,
Yeah.
I just
I don't know why I came
Ah.
to analyze this word. It was like intuitively.
Yeah, maybe it was just coming into your naraka,
Yeah.
nar,
Yeah.
Gahannam.
It came like
James,
that.
I just Googled Sanskrit Naraka derivation, and it says the Sanskrit word Naraka is derived from the roots nr or nar, meaning man, and aka, meaning unhappiness. The word literally means man's unhappiness.
Aka meaning unhappiness.
That's what Mr. Google says.
Okay, were you using that chat GPT or whatever by any chance?
Well, I think these days when you Google something, the first paragraphs that it comes up with are AI. Oh yeah, that's the AI overview.
Yeah. It's really interesting. I have used when I've been puzzled by derivations or just testing it out. I have used this what's called the chat GPT or GB or whatever it's called on various matters of etymology, Sanskrit and Pali and Indo-European generally etymology. And it's mostly just horrendously wrong. So on various things you can check, and you get stuff that appears to be fairly reliable and correct and can be double checked elsewhere. Though until the system becomes much better, I urge great caution checking on the chat GPT or similar things, Google, for etymology.
There's a much more detailed page here, which goes into different people's ideas about where Naraka comes from.
Okay, well, if they're actually citing identifiable people, that's okay.
Yes.
Is there anything useful there?
It does say that this idea of it coming from Nr and Aka is less likely.
That's putting it very politely, I would say. Yeah. So Aka means unhappiness. Is that what we're being told?
Well, yes, and we've also been told it's unlikely.
Yes. Actually, having been a bit sneering, I've now looked it up in so Aka, unhappiness.
Oh, yes.
But I've never in one of the, I forget what the TS stands for. There's one of the Hindu texts. I've never seen it used. I mean, Aka is a very common suffix generally, but the naraka meaning unhappiness. Man's unhappiness. I would say it's an ingenious attempt at finding a very rare word and sticking it onto Aka. Okay, it deserves a footnote. It deserves a footnote. And Aka, well, if the Aka is unhappiness, it suggests here with the -ka, it suggests that the word ka, apart from being the first consonant,
Oh, I saw the word fire.
Look at that. Dum, ka, happiness, joy, or pleasure. Okay, fine. Well, jolly good. If it's there in the dictionary, it's that I've never seen it used in that way. it may be used in one kind of incantatory way in the Vedas or something like that. But then, so akka then would mean unhappiness. Okay, well, I'm going to, until I'm convinced otherwise, I'm going to just have to accept that these are fanciful suggestions, but even they are admittedly improbable. I'm content for the moment just to say it's a derivation we may rather an etymology that we may never know. Mm. But yes, I mean Nara just does mean man, as we know. Okay, so let's get back to the text. Where are we? Oops, sorry. Oops. Oh, lost things again. No, wrong one. Sorry. There we are. So Vasu, the dwelling, here the fact of dwelling, narake, in hell, is either this niyatam, and it could be aniyatam. I've done a note on it. Where you have a word ending in an a, and the next word beginning with an a, as you know, by sandhi, the a simply drops out. So narake aniyatam becomes narake niyatam. Now, it's possible that there was never an a at the beginning of this word. It's just niyatam without the a. There's a variant reading, narake, and the missing other, aniyatam, or just narake niyatam. There are different editions of texts that have the different forms. They are both possible and they both make sense. Because niyatam, without the a, it means, literally the meaning is tied, niyam, to restrain, to tie down. And used as, and the past participle is niyata, and so as an adverb, niyatam means definitively, definitely, without it, it's fixed, it's tied down, it's firm. So it has the meaning of definitely. If you put an a in front of it, aniyatam, that's also a perfectly valid word, and it means, the opposite means indefinitely, but in the sense of time. Just as in English we can say something will definitely happen, okay, bound to happen. You will be there indefinitely meaning without any limit of time, or you don't know how long it's going to be. There's no time limit set. And it also has that exact same meaning in Sanskrit. So here we've got an ambiguity. And we can translate that ambiguity directly into English. They will go to hell definitely, or they will go to hell indefinitely. In other words, for an undefined period of time. Both are possible, and as I said, we've got different editions of these texts where both appear. So, of whom will this vaso happen? The vaso bhavati. The dwelling will be whose dwelling? Of these people, utsanna kula dharmanam manushyanam. Of manushya means human beings. Utsanna kula dharmanam. This is a bahuvrihi compound. Rather, it's a double compound, which I'll explain. It's a Tatpurusha compound. Starts off as a Tatpurusha compound, Kula Dharma, and then expands into a Bahuvri compound, as I will explain. So, is my iPad up for you? Visible?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
thank you. So we have dharma, dharma of the multiple meanings, but in this verse, it's the meaning that we've been discussing: the rites, the rituals, the duties, the entire way of life of your, that you follow. And here's the kula dharma, the dharmas of your family, your entire family, rituals, religion, the way the family lives its life. So this is the kula dharma. So kula dharma on its own is a tatpurusha compound. It's the dharma. What kind of dharma? The kula dharma, the family dharma. Now, if we put an utsanna kula dharma, utsanna means uprooted. We could translate it syllable by syllable into English as upseated, because we have the root sad. It makes its past participle with a na, not a ta, and sadna becomes sanna. Like, for example, pad plus na, sanna becomes panna. Quite common. So sanna means seated, sitting. If it's utsanna, it's kind of upseated. It's exactly what in English we would mean by uprooted. It's taken from its firm base, removed, unseated, uprooted. So this utsanna kula dharma is now, whereas the kula dharma was a tatpurusha compound, where kula defines dharma, the family dharmas. Now put this past participial adjective in front of it, utsanna kula dharma, it now becomes a bahuvrihi compound. It means those whose family dharmas have become uprooted. So it describes the people, those whose family dharmas are uprooted or destroyed even. How have I translated here? Disappeared, okay. So utsanna kula dharmanam in the genitive plural because it's qualifying manushyanam. So the vaso of the manushyanam is in hell, of which manushyanam? Of the utsanna kula dharmanam manushyanam. Manushya it's from, in Hindu mythology, Manu is the primal man of the laws of Manu, the Manu Smriti. So you can make a derivative noun from it. So Manu is the primal man, and add the shya ending. Manushya means literally, of the tribe of Manu, of the race of Manu, therefore human. So a Manushya is just a human being. And it makes its genitive plural in anam as usual. Remember, there's the subdotted n there because the sh, the retroflex sh, has the same effect as a r. It makes the following n retroflex or n. So this that would be the na there, that n. So manushyanam. So the vaso of the utsanna kula dharmanam manushyanam, of people, of humans whose family dharmas have been destroyed or uprooted, narake niyatam or narake aniyatam. I don't suppose we'll ever know which one it was, because both are so equally valid. And as I said, different editors have given different versions, and probably it sounds as if different manuscripts have come up with different versions. Possibly manuscripts from before the days when we had this avagraha symbol. The avagraha symbol, by the way, is I forget when it came into existence, but it's a relatively late invention of the script. It's very convenient, but it wasn't always there, which is why there's a greater degree of ambiguity in some of the earlier scripts. And bhavati just is, as we know, and bhavatiti anushruma. So the reason for the iti, bhavatiti, is because in English we would say anushruma, we have heard, it has come down to us that so and so. We have heard that their abode is in hell. In Sanskrit, we say their abode is in hell. Iti, we have heard. This shushruma, I won't inflict the reduplicated perfect tense on you just now, but I think I've given you a note if you're interested to find it. There we are. Yes, I mean you can look it up in Macdonnell if you wish. By the way, I trust that all of you do have ready access to the good Macdonnell, the good Arthur Anthony Macdonnell, who became Professor of Sanskrit at Oxford after Monia Williams.
Not online. For me, I had it at one time online, and then it disappeared. It was not functional, and it disappeared.
Ah.
I don't know how to get it back. I don't know if it's working. I didn't try after that.
I think I might be able to help.
Yes, thank you.
I think I might be able to help. So this is just the new version I haven't put out yet. This is the study result. I mean, it was in the previous version as well. You will have Sanskrit grammar, so page 30. Page 30, I think we should have it. But you are right. That happened to me as well. I was trying to look him up online. It just disappeared. But did I find another one? So I'm fumbling about.
It's available online now. I just checked.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Now, Sanskrit grammar. This is the one. I think this is the.
This is the PDF. Oh.
So yeah, it's this one. I've put a new link up, and this one does give it to you. So the link that I've got in the study resources guide, the latest edition that you will have, this takes you to this one, which is a PDF online. But you just scroll down very simply, and what number were we looking for? Oops, 135. Okay, so in the previous one, you could just there was a menu, and you click a number, and it would take you to that paragraph. This one, oh, sorry, this one, you just scroll down. There we are, 135. So those of you who want to look up the rules for making the perfect tense,
okay.
the reduplication, it is there. Incidentally, there's also available, you can get it as a reprint of Macdonnell, which I've got the old edition of Macdonnell from, but the edition I have is 1962. which I would have got in about 65 or 66. But there's been a reprint of it in book form, which is available. Ah, yes, Roger has it. Yeah, good. Roger's showing it. Now, many reprints. This one is, available. Just look up on Amazon or wherever you buy books. It's freely available. Many reprints turn up with a rather blurred text. This reprint, by contrast, is beautifully sharp text and even better than the original Oxford University Press edition that I have. I don't know whether it's anything to do with my eyesight, and I think it's quite cheap, easily bought. I would encourage you to get it. And as I say, I was delighted when I opened it and saw it. It's just beautifully clear, almost like fresh, sharp printing, but it hasn't been reset or anything, because I've checked, several pages and they start and finish in exactly the same place. So what you have in your hands, if you buy the new one, is very, very exactly Macdonnell as originally published in the late 1800s. And I would encourage you just to delve into it a little bit. And as I started doing in the mid-1960s, never quite tire of it. And it's all explained beautifully simply. I mean, you get other grammars that are written in a dense and almost incomprehensible manner. But Macdonnell expressly wrote his for students. And it is actually very, by late Victorian standards, fairly well and simply written.
I have just shared the online dictionary link also.
I'm sorry, say again to me, Namala?
No, this is Mandira. I've just
shared.
Oh,
sorry, I was looking at the wrong screen. Sorry, Mandira.
I've just shared the online link of this dictionary. It's just like the one that we use.
Oh, hang on, I'm trying to
message you. I have messaged you in the chat.
Oh, hang on, trying to find the. Can't find the chat now.
It's at the bottom. It should be at the bottom.
Oh yeah. Because I'm sharing screens. Right. Oh, chat. Opened it. Trying to find it.
I can't find it in the chat.
Okay. Okay. It's the one you said.
Not in my one.
Yeah, it's the
common message to everyone. So I messaged it to Professor Whelan.
Yeah. Okay. Hang on. Copy.
Yeah.
It's not in mine.
I've just made a copy of it. Let me just hang on. I'm just going to quickly, before I lose it, I'm just going to quickly put it there. Is it the same one? This looks like is that the Moni Williams one?
This is MacDonald.
Oh, the Macdonnell's Students' Sanskrit Dictionary.
That's right.
Okay.
But I could not find it on the chat. I opened the chat. It's empty page.
Okay, maybe because the chat was just sent to me. Anyway, what I'll do what I will do.
I know, sir.
There's the Macdonnell Sanskrit Dictionary. How are we going to input? Oh,
maybe you can edit in your email for the next session.
I will do that. I will do that.
It's easier.
Okay. Okay. So I've just, can you all see it now? I've called it up on screen. I put in this Naraka, so I entered Naraka there. He said that it's rare, infernal regions, hell. Okay. That's possibly because in Hindu usage, or general Sanskrit and Hindu usage, it's rare, but I think it's far more common in Buddhist usage. So that's why he said that it's rare. Macdonnell is the same Macdonnell that wrote the grammar that I was just talking about. His dictionary is much, much less detailed than Monia Williams. Monia Williams goes through, so to speak, the entire language, right from the Vedas up to later Sanskrit. In his preface to his dictionary, and Monia Williams was already out and published by the time Macdonald published his dictionary. And he did say that his dictionary wasn't intended, or words to the effect, it wasn't intended to be a rival to Monia Williams, but it's really more of a student's dictionary and was a rather simpler, smaller dictionary, which is essentially a glossary to the main popular texts of Sanskrit. So because we have such easy access to Monia Williams, I don't even bother to use Macdonald anymore. And one also important thing is that Monia Williams will typically give Buddhist usages of words, whereas Macdonald tends not to. So I would say, since we have Monia Williams online, Macdonald is kind of somewhat superfluous for our purposes. Though I did find it very useful as in early times as a student of Sanskrit and before we had things online. But I would say if you're looking things up, just go straight to Monia Williams. Just seeing how he deals with things. Oh, that's funny. It doesn't even give Nirmana. I wonder why it doesn't give Nirmana. I just looked up Nirmana using the Kyoto Harvard input with capital R, capital N for the Arn. Not found. Whereas go to Monia Williams, there it is, all about it, particularly the Buddhist usage. So I won't detain us anymore on that. I'll just say, since we've got Monia Williams online and so easy to use, my recommendation would be to use that. But if you were a student looking at pure Sanskrit texts with a hard copy dictionary, in those circumstances, Macdonald would be a good one to start with. Anyway, thank you for sending that link, Mandira. I'll include it in the study resources guide anyway.
Thank you.
So this Shushruma, it's from our well-known root shru, to hear. And let's go to iPad again. The root shru. And it makes the past participle shruta, meaning heard, and the many sutras, I should say in Sanskrit, begin evam maya shrutam, literally, thus by me heard, which in English is thus have I heard. And that's the one that in Pali, you can have evam me or evam maya, both correct. And in Pali, Pali, shrutam just becomes sutam. Evam me sutam or evam maya sutam. Is that shru? Now, looking back to this anushru, by the shruta is that which is heard. remember that in ancient times, the learning was mostly by listening to what was orally taught by the guru. So the learning was literally the hearing. So shruta is the past participle meaning heard, and the shruti literally means hearing. And there are some Hindu scriptures that are known as the shrutis, meaning they're just things that are passed down by hearing. If you are very learned, you are bahushruta, which means much heard, or he who's heard is much. In other words, he who has heard much. Bahushruta, much heard. And in Pali, that becomes bahusutta. So bahushruta in Sanskrit, bahusutta in Pali means learned. Now, if we put anu in front of it, because in this word we have anushruma. Let me get this out of the way. Anushruma. So, okay, the perfect, reduplicated perfect, shrut here, shruma, we have heard. Anushruma, this anu suggests along or in accordance. It suggests a passing down of learning. It suggests one person has heard it from another, from another, from another. So it's a chain of hearing, as it were. Anushruti. Anushrushana, we have anward, we have heard along. In other words, it's been passed down to us, the chain of repetition of what have been heard. So it suggests a wisdom or a knowledge that has been passed down, is the idea behind the anu here. Not just you picked it up in the market, isn't it like a chain of passed down knowledge, anushruma. And Janardana is just one of the numerous names of Krishna. Heldon, you looked it up a while ago, didn't you? I seem to remember. I didn't remember what Ardana means now. Oh yes, moving restlessly, disturbing or distressing. So giving. Wonder why he's called that Janardana, who makes them restless or torments people. There must be a reason for that. I'll try and find out. So look at this once more, then I'll read through it. Utsanna kula dharmanam manushyanam janardana narake niyatam vaso bhavati chanushruma. So we could have a recitation of it. Would you like to start off with a recitation, Dominique?
Sure. Utsanna kula dharmanam manushyanam janardana narake niyatam vaso bhavati chanushruma.
Okay, very nice. I didn't exactly catch, how did you pronounce that subdotted M before the V? I think the Brahmins, when they're chanting Vedic, pronounce it as a pure M if a V follows. How did you pronounce it?
M, niyatam.
No, a pure M as a M.
I meant it Was it an M?
Okay, fine. What you did does coincide with what you hear in Brahmin chanting. You know, because this anuswara has different values depending on the following letter. But with a V following, I think that the better view is that it should be a pure M, which is what treating it as if it was a B or a P. Niyatam vaso. Okay, thank you. So that was good. And as per the Brahmanical system, Dominique. Okay. Anne, would you like to have a go for us?
I'll have a go.
Mhm.
Uchana kula dharmanam manushanam janardana narake niyatam vashobhava titiya nushruma.
Okay, there were a couple of vowels that you shortened. Remember this vaso.
Vaso.
Narake niyatam vaso.
Narake niyatam vaso.
Okay, absolutely fine. And oh, by the way, on a bit of grammar, there's some subdotted n here. The end of the dot under. I'll do it in this one. That's because of the previous r, and there's no interposing consonant that blocks it. That's why dharmanam, equally manushyanam. So I say because the sh has exactly the same effect as the r on the following na. Manushyanam. Right, thank you very much, Anne. Mandira, round to you.
Can I see the Devanagari?
Yeah, there we are.
Utsanna kuladharmanam manushyanam janardana narke niyatam vaso bhavatityanushushram. Sorry, it's a tongue twister.
Anushushrum. Come on, don't turn it into Hindi. Anushushrum. I know there's this sometimes almost irresistible temptation among the Hindi speakers, but remember the Sanskrit demands the final Anushushrum. Okay, very good. Thank you, Andira. Kath, round to you.
Utsanna kuladharmanam manushyanam janardana narake niyatam vaso bhavati tyanushruma.
It's the sound of ancient India coming to us. Very good. Thank you, Kath. Shri Nimala. Sorry, Nimala. You've now corrected me. Your turn.
Let me see. Utsana kuladharmana manusyayanam janadana narake niyatyam vaso bhavatitya ansushuma.
Very nice. Just say bhavatiti anushushrum. Yes, so what happens is the bhavati, iti anu becomes just ityanu.
Bhavati anu.
Bhavati shushma. Okay, that's good. Thank you, Sri Nimala. Lucy, round to you.
Utsana kula dharmanam manushyanam janardana narake niyatam vaso bhavatiti anushruma.
Okay, you were very, very careful about the long vowels and the short vowels there, weren't you?
Yes.
In fact, you were putting so much energy correct into getting the correct forms of the long and the short that a couple of places you shifted into pure French, where the j, for example, became a je, Janardana, Janardana. Yeah. Remember, this has to be like a j, very much like the English j, not like the French je, Janardana. Otherwise, fine. Yeah, very good. Also, I noticed that you didn't make the sandhi with the iti and ushushuma. Here I've written them as two separate words, iti and ushushuma, but in running text is bhavatitya ushushuma. Bhavatitya ushushuma. And indeed written so in the Devanagari script, because the one that I've highlighted is the tya, like ta, ya, a, tya.
Yes.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Lucy. And finally, Madeline.
Yes. Utsana kula dharmanam manushyanam janardana narake niyatam vaso bhavatityanushruma.
Okay, very good. Actually, I noticed you did one thing the same as Lucy. You talked about utsana. And utsanna, to hold that double N, very important. Utsanna. And Lucy as well, can you give us an utsanna, carefully holding the double N, as if it were Italian. You know what the Italians do. La donna, utsanna.
Sanna.
Okay, very good. Wonderful. So what we can do then, we can pass on to the next verse of the Metta Sutta, unless there are any further doubts, comments, or queries on this one. Yes, please, Mandira.
So we have this prefix anu, and so I have this word anumati in mind. How do we define that word in this context?
Yeah, anumati, does that mean agreement or something like that?
Permission.
Permission, okay, permission. I kind of guessed at the meaning of agreement. So anumati, so mati from the root man. So your mati is that which you think. So the anumati then, is that what it also means in Sanskrit? Let me just check. Anumati. Yeah, here we are. So anumati, the word mati on its own means an opinion, that which one thinks. So the anumati means that your thoughts go, the underlying idea, your opinion goes along with what you've been asked to do or asked to allow. So you kind of, it's like thinking accordingly as a way of expressing permission. So rather like we have permission, if you analyze the word permission in Latin, it means letting something through, letting it pass, literally permission. But if you look at the word assent, assent actually means thinking in the same way, agreeing to it. So the assent and anumati formed more from the same idea. It's your mati, your thinking, your way of thinking, going along with what you've been asked. And is that word still used in modern Hindu then? And anumati?
Yes, we do use.
Okay,
but
right.
Also use Persian word ijazat.
Yeah, for the Urdu ijaza.
Ijazat.
Yeah, which is from well, Madeline will recognize ijaza, as in gawaz, igaza, meaning just literally jawaz now means passing. So ijaza is allowing to pass, literally. And then via Persian into ijaza in Urdu. So if you're in a long, boring conversation with somebody, you can say, ijaza hai, is there permission? Can I go now? So this anu, it's actually cognate with the Greek anna. as in analogy, analog. We have quite a few words being in anabolic, but the analogy means, in Greek, the logia means reasoning, from which we get the word logic. So your reasoning, your way of thinking, and therefore the analogy is reasoning in the same way, reasoning accordingly, reasoning along those same lines. That's the meaning of analogy. So this ana is a direct cognate with the Sanskrit and Pali anu. And in its more direct meaning, for example, eti, he goes, anueti means he follows. So it is anu iti, he anu goes means he follows.
James,
Roger.
Well, what about, just to pursue this a little bit longer, what about anabolic and metabolic?
Oh, goodness me.
I think you said anabolic, didn't you?
Did I? That was rash of me in front of a doctor, because I should have risked being asked. What is, there's anabolic and metabolic. I'm going to have to check those, because it suggests that is anabolic regarded as the opposite of metabolic?
Well, anabolic, yeah, it's a good question. Metabolic is really metabolism and physiological energy. Yeah, I'd have to check myself, actually.
Yeah, I'm going to.
I don't think very much about exactly what they mean.
Yeah. Yeah, and I remember asking you this question quite a while ago during your medical training. Did you ever have any instruction what these Greek words really meant? And you
Not
answered
really.
no.
No. I mean, anabolic, we know about anabolic steroids.
That's right.
Yeah. Anyway,
you've whetted my appetite now again for this, Roger. So I'll have a go as well. You have anaphylactic shock, don't you?
Yeah.
And phylax means a protector. So anaphylactic, it looks like protecting along.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'll have to check that. Actually, yeah. So I may have accidentally said a few moments ago that after this we'll go back to the Metta Sutra, because the Metta Sutra is for the Pali class, not the Sanskrit. So we go back to the Buddhacharyavatara. But I've just remembered that in the Metta Sutta, we've got a mother who protects her only son, not just Rakati, but Anurakati. So Rakati, in Sanskrit, Rakshati, protects. But the Anurake, Mata Niyamputam Ayusa Anurake, something like that. The Anurake, you have the Anu in front of Rakati or Rakshati. So what does the Anu mean there? So you can see somebody in danger, and you just Rakshati, in Pali, Rakati, protect them, guard them from particular. But the mother will Anurakati her little baby. The anu suggests an ongoing following protection, with being with that baby, an ongoing protection. That's the idea of the continuation, the following. And you talk about the recollection of the qualities of the Buddha. I'll call up iPad again here. So Smarati is the Sanskrit meaning remembers. It's from the root smri, meaning to remember. You can make one of the ways of making a verbal noun is to take the root and just put ti on it. So you get Sanskrit smriti, which literally means remembering. And it's exactly that word that turns up in Pali as sati, often translated as mindfulness. So it's that same word. Now, back to where we were. Recollecting the qualities of the Buddha. Smarati, in Sanskrit, sarati, just means to remember. So if you remember the qualities of the Buddha, you just say smarati, or in Pali, sarati. However, you're recollecting the qualities of the Buddha in a methodical, ordered way, and you're chanting them in a methodical, ordered way, one by one. And that is why that's why it's in fact the anusmarati. And in Pali, it's the same, save that in Pali, the sma, what was sma in Sanskrit becomes a double S sma in Sanskrit, double S in Pali, anusarati. So the sense of the anu there, the force of the anu, is not just you're remembering something, is that you are deliberately remembering one by one in a sequence. And passati, Sanskrit pashyati, sees. Anupashyati is like a careful consideration, not just seeing it, but considering it, seeing it along, seeing it point by point, anupashyati. And samanupashyati, suggesting come to a conclusion, having examined something. Right, so we've got about 10 minutes left, so we can move on to the Bhagavad Gita.
Actually, could I just have one more question?
Please, yes, please, Dominique.
About the Anushushruma. I don't know if you can help me understand. It's probably connected to my lack of understanding of English grammar and Hindi grammar. But when I'm working the Bhagavad Gita, I'm using a Hindi translation, and the way they translate.
Sorry, in which translation? In the
Hindi.
Hindi translation.
Yes.
Okay.
And the way they translate Anushushruma is Sunte Aye Hai.
I'm sorry, say it again.
Sunte Aye Hai.
Sunte Aye Hai.
And I can't translate that in French. What tense is? How do you translate that? And what kind of tense is that in Hindi?
Come on, Mandira, you say what? Sunte Aye Hai. Sunte Aye Hai.
This will actually translate to something like we have been hearing about it.
Sunte Aye Hai. Yeah, we So Aye Hai have come hearing.
Have been hearing about it.
Sunte Aye Hai, we have come along hearing. That's not an entirely satisfactory translation. But sorry, so how would you then? Would you translate Sunti Aye Hai? It's one of these wonderful Hindi compound verbs. So how would you have translated that, Mandira?
So this would be we've been hearing about it.
We have been hearing about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or we've come to hear it, something like that.
We have come to hear it. We have been hearing about it. Now, the only thing is we have been. It's a kind of a past progressive tense. From the past until now, we have been continually hearing it from the past up to that's it. Sunti Aye Hai.
Okay.
We started a while ago, and we are continuing up until now hearing it.
That's right.
Okay.
Have I got that right, do you think, Mandira?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, good. Thanks for your help as well, Sunti Aye Hai.
Thank you.
One last question, Professor Whelan.
Please.
So this word niyatam, and we have this word in Hindi, niyati, which means destiny or fate. So is it the same? Does it have the same root?
It is exactly the same. Yes, yes, it is. Let me call up iPad. So actually, it's from the root yam. Which has various meanings, including the meaning of restraining. I'm going to call this up here. Now, let me just turn this highlight off and do it again. Yeah, so one of the meanings of yam, to hold or keep in, and we have the sanyama, meaning restraint, like holding in a burst of anger or something, with the sanyama. And it makes its past participle, let me give you iPad again. Past participle is yata. Normally you would expect it to be something like yanta, but it's not. The n drops out, and so it has yata. You can make a verbal noun, again, instead of the ta with the ti. We've just been looking at one, shruti, smriti. You can have yam. You'd expect to see yanti, but it's not yanti, it's just yati. So just the n drops out. So it's simply the noun form, but niyata is the adjective form, the past participle form, and the niyati is the noun form. So that which is bound. And therefore, we use it, so it has just as in English, the word bound has a double meaning. Bound in the sense of tied up from bind, and it's bound to happen. You can't escape it happening. It's that same idea in Sanskrit. So the niyata, bound down, and then by extension definite, and the verbal noun niyati, the binding, that which has to happen. Therefore, by extension, your fate. Let's just see how it appears in Sanskrit with Mania Williams. So yeah, the niyati, about the fixed order of things, then necessity, destiny, fate. But the original idea, it's tied down like that. You can't change it now. That's how it's going to be. Ooh, sometimes personified as a goddess, niyati and ayati. And then you see by extension, religious duty or observation, self-command, self-restraint. You can see how all these meanings flow from something being unmovable and tied down. Sorry, where am I? Lost it.
Thank you, Professor Viren.
Okay, right. Well, thank you for that question. That does more help us to understand it. So that was good. Actually, I've got a couple of Hindi translations, Dominique, of the Bhagavad Gita as well, and I'll see whether it's translated in the same way as those. I've written down what you said, Sunti Ai. Have you attempted to enter the room a second time, Dominique? I think Dominique is frozen in the first picture.
I lost you guys. So yes, I did come back.
Okay, right. So on one screen we can hear you, and on the other screen we have a frozen picture of you. Okay, there we are now. You're back. You're back.
Okay.
We've just got just a couple of minutes. Oh, sorry, just trying to find a page.
James, I missed last week, but I'm intrigued by this perfect tense at the very end.
Mm-hmm.
The Anushushrimah. So it's first person singular.
No, this is the first person plural. We have
Sorry,
heard.
first person plural.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And you'll find it all set out in detail in the reference I've given down here for
Oh,
the
sorry. Yeah.
for
Okay.
MacDonnell
Yeah.
135.
Yeah.
What I would suggest, have a read through that if you're really
Yeah.
inclined to, and if you have any queries,
Yeah.
have any queries about it, do let me know.
Yeah.
It's this reduplicated perfect, which I think most verbs can have in Sanskrit. We occasionally have it in Latin. There are certain past tenses where you reduplicate a syllable to make a past. Kurru, I run. I ran is pukurri, for example. And there are a few like that that reflect the Sanskrit. And for example, you don't find it used in Pali, this form, except in one survival, which I shall tell you about. We've got the root bhu, as you know, meaning to be. You would have, it's actually, this makes a slightly irregular reduplicated past, but I'll give it to you even though it's irregular because it's quite common. You have the babhuva. You would have expected to see, if it were regular, babhava, but in fact it's babhuva. That's the third person singular. So babhuva it was. And the reason I mention that, because you'll see it quite frequently, and I think I'm right in saying that it is the only reduplicated perfect that you find or regularly find in Pali. It's just kind of survived in Pali under the influence of the Sanskrit. Babhuva you will see in Pali text. It just means it was.
Thank you. It's got a really odd sort of declension just looking at it. The perfect, by reduplication. It looks odd. The declension, the endings.
It's a regular past tense ending, the ma. In the present indicative would be maha. For example, we are bhavam, which is written as ma and then subdotted h. There are two separate sets of endings, but the past tense ending is just a ma rather than the maha. And this is formed entirely regularly, actually. So you take the root shru.
What about the third person plural? Looks odd to me.
Anushru. That one, Anushru. We have not encountered it very much in the text that we've done, but I assure you, when you look into it, it's all regular. It starts by looking odd. It's just not a tense that we've encountered much. Many of the writers, particularly Buddhist writers, will sometimes use a present tense when they mean a past. Because of the nature of the texts we've been studying in the Buddhist writings, it's a text that's not that much used. Of course, this is a Hindu text, specifically Hindu text we're looking at here, where you'll see it a lot more. I'll draw more attention to it as we go along. But I'd be interested to hear of your reaction to reading that section, was it 135, whatever it was, of Macdonnell.
Thank you.
And it's all, although it might look odd to you, this construction is entirely regular in Sanskrit. Okay then, good students, we've just turned 3 o'clock. So I shall hopefully I shall hopefully then see you all again in a week's time.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you very much to all.
Thank you, James.
Thank you.
James.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye. Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye.